fiction. When it gets too hot in your kitchen.
Broadcasting now 24/7 on the Costa del Sol.
This is The Beat.
This is The Beat, and this is Herschel 36 on The Beat, arguably the best radio station on the coast. And I'm here with Sonia from Plush Global Media. Now, this next track is a track called I Could Lie from a project in London called The Van Demon. And yes, I have my fingers this one. Let's have it. This is the way we bring in Christmas. I love it. Absolutely love it. That was I Could Lie by the Van Demon, the project by Map Music in London, an extension of EMI. And yeah, that was myself and a guy called Ben Hardy. We were the writers for that little project. And it was cool. It was fun. It was a little bit messy, that's for sure. But here we are, again, on a Wednesday evening, on The Beat, with Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Now, I have in the studio with me a young lady called Sonia, who I met through a gentleman called Nami, who runs Malaga Business Minds. And I was interested, and I still am very, very interested in something called site engine optimization. And I'm going to ask Sonia to give us a little bit in-depth communication about what it is, why it's important, and all those kind of things. But there is a darker side, I feel, about the internet, what it's there for, and how it's developing artificial intelligence. Sonia, how you going?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
No, it's good to have you. Thank you very much for coming in.
All right, cool.
So, listen, just for anyone listening out there, just tell us who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Okay, so I'm Sonia Ingriselli. I work for Plush Global Media in San Pedro, and we specialize in SEO, search engine optimization, online marketing in general, pretty much encompassing a lot of stuff, and multimedia, which includes virtual tours for your business. We are Google Trusted Agency, so give us a call and we can get your business up on Google's Business Street View.
You're a Google Trusted Agency. Wow, what does that mean?
So that means that our virtual tours have been approved by Google to be good enough to go onto their system.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're promoting Google and the search engine world for small businesses on the coast, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so how long have you been involved with Plush?
With Plush now, we are just going into almost 2 years. So we're pretty much a baby company.
Yeah.
We formed it, me and 3 partners, more or less. There's 4 of us. And we formed it just in August of 2014.
Well, you know, I know Lee.
Yeah, Lee. Yeah, Lee
I,
Collins.
Yeah, I had some business with Lee a number of years ago when we're looking at various music projects. So I do know Lee.
Okay.
And I've been on one of your courses actually. I was in the course on the course in Malaga.
Right.
And I did 2 of your courses in Nueva Andalucía, I think it was, or Marbella, the Marbella area, the Andalucía Labs.
Yes, Andalucía Labs, yeah.
And they were both, all 3 courses were really informative. So what kind of information are you giving people?
With the courses, more or less, I'm sure I'm teaching small businesses that really don't have the budget for large marketing online to sort of do most of it themselves. You can't do all of it, unfortunately, but you can at least get the basic optimization of your site to be Google friendly out of the way. So more or less, we kind of focused on that. Then I would go in to tell them you need this, and the other thing, and cutting through the jargon. There you go. Cutting through the jargon for small businesses.
So are you in fact giving small businesses the opportunity to use the net to grow their network and allow them to actually make some cash in this market?
Yeah, it's the only way. It's been made sure of. The only way. You have to be online. It's unfortunate, but you do if you have a business.
Well, everyone's online. My kids
Pretty
are
much,
online.
yeah.
I'm online. You're online.
I'm online.
We're not online now, but I even do interviews online, you know,
Yes.
with people around the world. We interviewed last week Joel Skousen from World Affairs Brief. Before that, Ollie Damagard from Light on Conspiracies. Because I'm a bit of a conspiracy nut, and I think you are too.
Yes. I'm proud. Proud to be a conspiracy nut. Yes, I am.
Right. Okay. Well, listen, it's great to have you here. I want to thank you for popping in and giving us some of your time. And
Sure.
we're going to go through some things. We've picked out some songs. We picked out some movies.
Yeah.
We're going to be chatting a little bit more about what's what and who's who, aren't we?
Yes.
Now tell me, you and I have picked out a song called "Can't Feel My Face."
Yeah.
Who sings that?
The Weeknd.
The Weeknd. Okay, so is there any particular reason? We got 15 seconds.
He's a Canadian artist. I'm from Canada. Love the beat. Like the song. Like the feel of it.
Do you listen to the beat when you're in your car?
Yes, when I can, until it disappears.
Okay, well, listen, don't go anywhere because we're going to be going straight back on. Here we go.
I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
Sonia, did you hear that? There was a great disturbance in the force. That was a sample from the Star Wars film, the early trilogies film from Star Wars, which I love. I just love those early.
I absolutely adore them.
They're great.
Yes.
But we're going to go there in a little bit. We're
right.
not quite there yet. Okay. So,
Okay.
as you know, right, there's a lot of information on the net. People are using the net more than television nowadays. Okay.
Yes.
So kids are using their phones to communicate. They go to YouTube. My children go to YouTube all the time.
Yep.
It's all about searching on the internet. Now, last week I looked at a series of false flags with Joel Skousen. The Paris issue, was that real or was that government-led operation? What's going on between Russia and Turkey right now, and so on and so forth. Now, you're giving people the tools through site engine optimization to update the net with keywords and phrases and all sorts of things. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I use most of my powers for good and not evil. Try to anyway.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The thing is that unfortunately, I've always said this. Internet is 50-50. Literally, it's 50% bad, 50% good. You know what I mean? And you got to find that balance in between. Unfortunately, with the mainstream media, they make it lately. They've been making it absolutely horrendous. They're reporting before having all the facts. You can't help but think there's cover-ups because of all the stupidity.
Well, check this out, right?
Yep.
Before the Paris attacks,
Right.
there was a Facebook page and a Twitter account the day before telling the world, and a Wikipedia page that dictated how many people died and exactly what went on. That was the day before the Paris attacks
That's
took
happened
place.
before. That's happened before. I remember that happening in the past, the Sandy Hook shooting. Actually, a lot of people posted the picture. They took, print screen. A lot of people posted it. The date was dated 2 days before the event took place. Google did say something about that, about how their algorithm works, and gave some sort of run-of-the-mill answer. I don't know. I don't want to sound like an idiot, but science-y answer.
Yeah, of course.
To sort of say, okay, just blow it off. But I was on Facebook, and I remember there was people that weren't really into the conspiracy things, just sort of freaked out about it. I remember that very specifically, because I had family members actually commenting on it.
Well, I know a lady called, I forget her name. That's insane. Good. The lady who wrote the whole thing about Sandy Hook. What's her name? Come on, tell me. Anyway, I know her, right?
Okay.
And she's been absolutely destroyed by the fact that she's come out and said Sandy Hook didn't happen. Okay. And there was a book that's been taken down by Amazon that describes
I've heard
how
about all that.
it didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
So there's lots of things taking place that just aren't happening right now. However, that's out there. That's out there in the big geopolitical world. We still got to live.
Yes.
We still got to earn this fiat currency.
Yeah, we do.
And that's where you come in. But my point to you is every time we give the artificial intelligence, I call it Google, but it's actually DARPA, in my opinion, we're building up their network, their knowledge, and the AI gets stronger.
Yeah, there's the theory of Skynet, like from Terminator. That's what it's been compared to. It's the Skynet theory of, Google's online now, and it's well, I'll tell you what. I did a few articles back in the 90s when I was in journalism, when the internet was just getting big. I was still on the I started on the internet with no graphical user interface, so it was all just text, black and white and text. I remember doing a story about it. I was assigned a story. It blew me away that the internet was actually created back in the 50s for the American defense system.
Hang on. Who invented the internet?
We don't know who really invented the internet. I know who invented the HTTP protocol, which is a fellow from your neck of the woods in the United Kingdom.
Well, that's right. Some British scientist, apparently.
Yeah.
But that's
not what I mean.
Hasn't Al Gore come out and said, I invented the internet?
Well, yeah, as a joke, I think. Yeah, he did.
Well, I'm not sure he was joking. He's just a psychopath, man.
Okay, maybe. But the actual internet, the interwebs of things, that network of things was actually invented in the 50s. So the Americans to have that type of technology back in the 50s is just amazing. It's cyberspace. It's literally, there's no end to it. It's infinity.
Well, it's infinity. And imagine what they have today. If they had that back in the 50s, now we're utilizing that technology. And who came out recently? Schwarzenegger came out and said, listen, let us use the internet. I will be back. Let us use technology, you know, because he's a globalist, man.
Well, I mean, like, at the end of the day, though, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but honestly, I'm going to yell at the whole world here. I'm yelling at you. I'm yelling at everybody. You guys are the reason why Google, Facebook, they know so much. It makes my job easier, okay? You don't read the damn terms and conditions. You don't read any of that. You're so impatient. Like, the impatience is absolutely astonishing in 2015, 2016 to come, okay?
Listen.
You're hitting accept.
I had to update my iPhone 6S stroke tracker phone this morning, and I just went, yeah, agreed, yeah, dum bum ba ding ding. I didn't read it.
Like, so, no, neither do. Hey, man, I'm not judging. Neither do I. Right?
Yeah, I haven't got time, man.
Okay, so you're giving Facebook permission to use every bit of information about you.
That's
and
right.
that's where their audience demographic tool comes from, which makes my job a hell of a lot easier.
Audience demographic tool. What the devil is that?
You gotta look at that. Okay, you get and listeners as well. I mean, if you look at if you have a business page, check out the audience tools, check out the demographics, how you can build your own audience. It's gonna shock you. It's gonna shock you what Facebook knows. Okay, I had an example in class. I don't know if you remember. I said, so I'm doing some SEO work and marketing online for a wedding venue. Okay, and they want to book weddings up until 2020, right? So I start an ad, and I can literally find out who got engaged yesterday on Facebook.
You are joking.
Yeah, who got engaged an hour ago on Facebook. You understand?
That is incredible.
That's the demographic audience builder. But you are the ones, the people, everybody on, like, there's 6 billion people on Facebook. I don't know if that's the right number. It's the biggest social platform, okay? They're the ones giving Facebook the information.
So if I was going to have a discussion about Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest,
right?
You know, in order of importance for a local business, what would you say?
Okay, so you definitely have to be on Facebook.
Okay.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I'm going to be writing an ebook, because I just did a whole bunch of tests on all the platforms for advertising. So you need Facebook. Sorry, you need Facebook. Absolutely. You need LinkedIn, definitely. Pinterest is the 4th largest now. Twitter, Google Plus. You still need Google Plus, even though I think it's crap.
Well, you got to have Google Plus, because you don't have Google Plus, you can't have YouTube.
More or less, you can't have YouTube, and you can't have a virtual tour. You can't have, Google, Gmail, everything. It's all connected, right?
You guys do virtual tours, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Okay, how's that going?
It's going really well. We've actually uploaded almost, I don't want to say the wrong number. I'll get in trouble. A lot.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of virtual tours to Google Business Street.
Well, that's good, but we're not here to tell the world how great you and your business is. We all know that.
Yeah,
you are.
All right.
You are really good. You know what I love about you? Integrity.
Yeah.
You got integrity. When you say you're going to do it, you do it.
Well, yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you've got a big client or a small client, a fat client or a skinny client.
Yeah.
You always deliver the goods. That's what I really, really like about you.
Thank you.
You're committed.
Yes, I really enjoy my job. I do. I love the writing aspect of it, though. I'm a writer at heart.
Yeah.
I love the writing aspect of it. But you're right. I guess I'm supporting, in a way.
You are supporting.
Yes.
Sophia Smallstorm was the name I was looking for. Now,
okay.
I've done an interview with Sophia. We've got 30 seconds left about the way society is being moved towards transhumanism.
Absolutely.
And you are delivering the zeros and ones for transhumanism.
I kind of am.
Okay, and this whole transgendered, the gay agenda that's going on the planet right now, right?
Okay.
If you are slightly gay, you can go really well in the BBC. But we're just coming up to a little break.
Okay.
And then we're going to be back with Sonia. How do I say your surname?
Ingriselli.
Ingriselli. Don't go anywhere.
The Beat.
Officially the best sounding station on the Costa del Sol.
This is The Beat.
Okay, we are back in. Don't leave us, people. Don't go anywhere, because I've got Sonia Ingriselli. Now, is that an Italian name?
Yeah, Italian surname. Yes.
So, what is your background then?
Well, actually, it'd be more of. You mean heritage-wise? Like my heritage, my nationality, or?
Yeah, that's right.
My father came from Italy after World War II. My mother's of Italian and German descent and native Canadian Indians. Mm-hmm. That's really not politically correct, but just wanted to make my point. So I kind of have a mixture. I guess you could say I'm half Italian, quarter German, quarter native ancestry. So it's a little bit funny.
Okay, but you're from Canada, correct?
I'm originally from Canada, the land of multiculturalism.
Okay,
Yes.
so what's the difference between what is the difference between the USA and Canada?
How long's your show?
Well, good question.
Okay, so the biggest difference that people will know what the hell I'm talking about is that we have gun regulation and gun laws. I've grown up with them. I don't know any different. I'm 41 years old. I know nothing different than we have gun laws. My father keeps all of his rifles and his handguns locked up according to the law of Canada. That's the big glaring difference between the two countries, and how that one line can divide us between school shootings every day and pretty much just politeness and walking around in Canada saying, excuse me, sorry.
Okay, so talk to me about site engine optimization, exactly what it is you deliver to the Costa del Sol.
Okay, so what I deliver more or less is I optimize your business to be Google friendly, and I can help you actually rank #1 on Google for your business, for your keyword. That's pretty much that's the basis of it.
Okay, so how many clients do you have? Who are your top 6?
You want the names? I can give you a few names.
Yeah, please.
Absolutely. We've got KMS Property out of San Pedro. We've got Marbella Dream Living out of Marbella. We have Mnifi. It's a cloud solution-based company in Germany. Those are pretty much our top 3. Oh, Be Unique Belts online. It's a shop selling, specializing in ladies' belts and accessories. We got a few other ones, but we've had to sign a confidentiality agreement. And a few more coming on board, I believe, in January. So we're doing pretty good.
Okay, that's great. And what do you think is the future for the internet on the Costa del Sol?
It is the future. That's the bottom line. It is the future. You have to be online if you expect to get any sort of ROI. Like, you need to be online. Everybody's on their phone. And Spain is the biggest country. Sorry, it's the country with the most people on their mobile phone. So it shocks me when I don't find every business here online. It's shocking.
Well, yeah, it's hard for people to get online all the time. It's hard to get from the conception point to actually having a website that's effective and
Yes,
out there on Google.
absolutely.
So what are the starting points for a startup?
Well, you need a website, obviously. You need a presence online. You need a website. Then you need the social media, right? Then you need the optimization, and then you need a specialized package that allows us to market your brand or your business online. Packages can start very small, though. It's not that unaffordable. It really isn't. It can be expensive. It depends on your brand. So if you're selling, for example, if you're in a really big niche, real estate, okay, there's the perfect example. All we have is real estate, more or less, coming in. However, we can only take on 2 or 3 real estate companies at once as long as they're branding a certain area. For example, KMS Property Solutions, they do San Pedro. Marbella Dream Living does Marbella. Then we can't take another real estate company that does Marbella. We can't do that. I'm competing with myself. It doesn't make any sense. So that's the kind of stuff. Yeah, real estate is it's saturated here, so your budget would have to be relatively high. It's unfortunate, but it's true if you really want to compete here on the Costa del Sol.
But can you tell me why people should be working with you?
Okay, well, I'm passionate about SEO. I've been in the field for almost 15 years now. When it comes to the technical aspect of SEO, not a lot of other marketing companies can really do it, I don't think. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that too tomorrow. But the technical aspects of SEO, actually using specific meta tags and metadata, it's not as easy as some people might think. You have to do the right keyword research, and then you have to have that research keywords approved by the client. We feel like at least our search engine optimization department, because we're 2, right? We're multimedia and then we're marketing online. So we feel like our SEO is probably, it's one of the best on the entire Costa del Sol. And now we're going global with our work. So
when you say you're going global, give us an idea what that means.
Okay, so we're a major outsource point because the pound to the euro right now is like super strong, right? Now everybody seems to go to India or the Philippines for their SEO because it could be literally $100 for like the best SEO package, which is absolutely ridiculous. But right now with the euro and the pound against the euro is so strong. It's like we think we're the new India now when it comes to UK-based businesses. Really, 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 really encourage people from the UK to come and get SEO from us. You're going to save almost 30% on your entire budget. So that's one thing I'm so glad I got to say this here because I think it's really important that people know this.
Okay, so I would agree with you, okay? I've got a little project coming up and I am going to raise a little bit of budget to try and work with you because I think it's important, right? If I'm going to put a business together, then I want to do it properly. And so therefore I want to employ people but work with people who are doing it properly, okay?
Exactly.
And you know what? That costs cash.
Yes.
So, it's just the way it is. And so a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. It helps you, it helps me.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that, say I had a budget of 500 euros.
Right.
How much time would that get for me with you?
Well, that's actually it's a pretty good starting package. So you'd get all the optimization done on your website. Do you have a website?
I have a website,
Yeah,
correct.
so you have all the optimization done. Okay, you have all the keyword research done with that. And then we'd even, like with that kind of money, we could actually do a few extra blogs for you. We could even do some social bookmarking for you. That's a little bit of link building. Yeah.
What's link building?
Oh, really? Okay, well, links, Google, when they crawl sites to index them in the search rankings, it depends on links. Literally, they call it a Google bot or a spider bot because it crawls through a web of links. You have to link build. You have to have inbound links coming to your site, which are almost, it's pretty hard to get. Inbound links. Outbound, like you have your external links. This is where you link to your own blogs. You say, hey, check out my blog here where I talk about this. And then you have your external links, more or less people linking back to you. That's big, 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 big. When you've got sites linking back to you, you're link building, massive link building, and you get ranked higher and higher on Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the assumption is you get ranked higher on Google, and you get more business in, putting money in your pocket.
Yeah. If you get more traffic, you can start on AdSense. You can start advertising. You can start advertising programs on your own blog site.
Because I'm getting about, on my blog, I'm getting 8,000 visits.
Okay, so the minute you get up to 10, you have to call me and I'll tell you what to do.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And are there tools online that will help me get more traffic, basically?
Absolutely.
Google Ads and all that sort of jazz?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so again, I'm feeding Google. So what's your moral position regarding Google?
Well, from a personal point of view and personal standpoint, I guess, I think in a lot of ways Google's very unfair. And I have to question why they're so unfair in a lot of aspects of what they do, especially with their advertising. You more or less, they've always said you literally don't buy the organic rankings, but the more I'm looking at it and the more industry leaders that I've talked to, it's like you kind of are, but you can't prove it. So organic rankings is what we specialize in when we get you up there without you having to pay a dime for Google AdWords. But we found that a lot of clients who went half and half with organic and asked us, can you please put 800, 1,000, whatever, into Google Ads, we found them get up a little higher faster. So I have really no way to prove that. But it is a dilemma morally because I get really pissed off about it. But the thing is Google, if you're online, Google, that's it. I have no choice.
Well, there's Google, and I also use Start Page. Okay,
yeah, Start
Page is if you don't know about it, you're not tracked when you use Start Page. But you're talking about links, and we're going to have a little link. I've got George W. Bush just jumping in and saying a few words in about 10 seconds, and then we'll be back with Sonia from Plush Global Media.
Right.
So don't go anywhere. We got some new tracks, and we're going to be speaking about movies.
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
I love that. Our enemies are resourceful, and so are we. Thanks, George W. Bush. I said it once and I say it again. I would have dinner with that man. He would be hilarious. So out of all the presidents of the United States, Sonia, who's your favorite?
Oh, God. I'd have to say probably my all-time favorite was Bill Clinton. He was entertaining.
You know, Bill Clinton has settled out of court 10 rape charges. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
I mean, the Americans love Bill Clinton.
They eat him up. You know what? I just from memory and that like growing up beside them, I'd have to say Bill Clinton was probably just the most newsworthy. Is that the word? The newsworthy.
Okay, so let's talk about your track selection because music is incredibly important to everyone. Okay,
yes. Yeah.
Incredibly important. And I asked you to give me 3 tracks, and one of them was "Stay High."
Yeah, by Stovlo. That's her name. She's from Sweden.
Absolute genius track.
Yeah, I love that track. Absolutely love it.
So what kind of music is it that you're into?
Okay, that's a good question. It's a variety, but I'm gonna tell you something. It's my absolute favorite is like like gangster rap.
Really?
Like Snoop Dogg, those kind of stuff. Ludacris.
Wicked, man.
Yeah, so nobody can really believe it, but it's true. I love Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet him. He's actually over, like, what is he, 6'4"?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's apparently super tall, like really, really, really tall. I really want to meet him.
I'm not tall.
No, I know.
Yeah. But I'm taller than you.
That's true.
That's true. In fact, I quite like Spain because it makes me feel taller. Because the Spanish are quite short.
That's true. Yes, they are.
And you know, my son Jacob, who's going to be 15 this month. 15. I mean, I remember my mother, who was Irish. She used to say, "Where has all the time gone?" And now I'm saying to you, where has all the time gone? So he's going to be 15, and he says to me, he said to me last weekend, "Dad, I'm going to be taller than you," and he is. Right? He's going to be taller, but he's a lovely kid, you know.
Thank God.
He's a lovely kid growing up in a quite volatile environment.
Yeah.
So we've got music, but we've also got a lot of films out there. Next hour, we're going to be talking about some of your favourite films, aren't we?
Yep.
One of which is Star Wars. We're going to go deeper into Star Wars, but we're also going to be looking at Stanley Kubrick.
Yes.
You know, who was very anti-globalist, apparently. Anyway,
absolutely, yes.
Let's not go there. So let's talk about Plush, because Plush at one point was looking at going into music and that media area, probably before your time. But now you are. Is Plush strictly a film and internet company?
Yeah, but we have we're sort of into that whole R&D thing, research and development. Like we do kind of listen to people's ideas. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you've got a winning idea, you know, we might actually kind of field it. We'd listen to it. So I wouldn't say that we turn away everybody that sort of comes to us and says, "Hey, I got this idea, this great thing, blah blah blah." We have to hear it, you know. We want to hear about it.
So you're open to opportunities that may arise from this incredible universe that we are apparently hurtling through.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, that's really good. So we have a minute to go. We're running to the track "Stay High." Just talk about this track and why it makes you beat.
Okay, well, "Stay High." I mean, I think everybody's had that breakup where you have to go out and stay drunk or get high. You know. So I had one of those in my early 20s.
We have that here all the time.
Everybody's got it, right? So, but I love the beat, love her. I think she's an incredible songwriter for being so young. I think she's up and coming big time.
How old is she?
I think she's in her early 20s.
That's right. She's really young. You know, that's what I love about this radio station is it plays some great tunes.
Yes.
You know, if you're on this, if you're listening to the beat right now, don't go somewhere else. Stay here.
Exactly.
Stay here. This is where the music is happening.
Yes.
This is where Sonia is.
Yes.
We talk about specific things that have an impact in your life, okay? So don't leave us. So Sonia, we got 10 seconds. What would you say to me right now? You're on the spot.
I want to talk about this gay agenda thing you got in your head.
Okay, let's do it. Don't go anywhere, people. We're back in the studio with Sonia from Plush Global Media. Sonia, how you going?
I'm good.
So, you know, I'm kind of feeling my way through this radio kind of gig.
Right.
this is my 8th show, but I'm really, really enjoying it.
Okay.
When we were talking about Wednesdays, and you said Wednesday's a bit of a low day for you.
Yeah.
Wednesday's a high day for me.
Obviously.
Yeah, because I get to come on the beat.
Of course.
Now, I'm not just saying this because arguably the owners are listening to this radio show, but in my opinion, the Beat is the best radio station on the coast. So what would you say to that?
I absolutely agree 100%.
Well, there you go. Big smile. That's what I like to hear. Now, listen, there's also a poll out there between Chris Kyle and Beat Boy. Who do you think has got the best face for radio?
Beat Boy.
No doubt about it. Beat Boy wins hand down.
Yeah, Beat Boy.
Beat Boy, if you are listening to this, you have a face for radio.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get back to this conversation. Site engine optimization. There's also SMO. What's SMO?
Social media optimization.
Social media.
Right.
And you offer both services, don't you?
Pretty much we encompass every service because we just say online marketing. Reputation management's a big one as well.
Well, listen, but as a small business, I want to get out there and I want to be selling. I don't want to have to deal with websites and site engine optimization and all this sort of jazz. I just want to do my ting. As you know, my ting is music, right?
Yes.
And that's what. And so I spend more time looking at site engine optimization than I do looking at Beats in Ableton Live. Now, what's all that about?
Well, the thing is, for you though, you'd have to lean over to branding, not really site optimization. Because you're a musician, you'd have to brand your own name.
Well, that's interesting because you're not the first person. In fact, you've told me that before.
I think I have.
But oops, a few people have told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to brand Herschel 36.
Exactly.
Because you know what I produce? I produce Pep. Pep is political electro punk.
I've listened to a few of your songs and I think they're awesome. The one with the dancing queen, that was.
Yeah. Who got all done? No. That track
a way of
is,
thinking.
You got a way of thinking. That's right. Because
Yeah.
you've got a way of thinking.
Yes.
And people are listening to you. The last time I saw you do a presentation, there must have been 100 people in an auditorium.
Yeah.
That went really well for you, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
But, you also stating that 2016 is going to be a very interesting year. Why? We've got 2 minutes to roll.
The industry leaders, I was listening in on a webinar the other day, this last week actually, and that's what I do every day. I have to read, I have to listen. Look, it's crazy to stay updated with all of the Google changes, all of the search engine changes. Some of the industry leaders are saying keywords aren't going to matter in 2016, and that I don't understand. So I'm still trying to figure that one out because everything depends on keywords.
Okay, so for someone who doesn't understand what a keyword is, what is a keyword?
Well, I mean, a keyword could be, so if you're a real estate company, the keyword would be real estate Marbella, a keyword phrase. So obviously you can't, like for KMS property, for example, you can't just say KMS property. No one's going to search KMS property. They don't know what it is. So they would search for real estate in San Pedro, and KMS property would pop up.
Okay, so if I was selling a property in London, what would be the top 3 keywords for?
Best property deals in London, property for sale in London, that kind of stuff. Or we're exactly right down to the neighborhood.
Yeah, Islington.
Yeah.
Islington, N1.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting, okay? There's lots of things going on, and it's just manic.
Yeah.
And life has to continue, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I've got to put food on the table. I've got to pay for the kids' education.
Yeah.
I've got to put petrol in the car. And there are ways, and it's quite good fun, isn't it, site engine optimization? There's a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy my job. I do, yeah. So it's interesting. It's nice to see when your clients start to rank and you've actually accomplished it.
Well, I've got a friend who's been putting the website together for Ken O'Keefe. Do you know who Ken O'Keefe is?
Yes.
Ken O'Keefe. Oh, you do?
Well, you told me.
That's right. Yeah, he's an Irish Palestinian citizen, an activist and former United States Marine and Gulf War veteran.
I've heard of him, yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's going to come up. He's going to be talking some serious stuff before we go to the top of the hour. My friend William Genski has put an incredible website together for him. So, Will, if you're listening, well done, mate, and keep up the good work. Don't go anywhere, kids.
Well, we don't operate under international law. What we have is the color of law, the law of the jungle, in which the rich and the powerful basically determine what goes and what doesn't go. Iraq is a perfect example of that. Why isn't Tony Blair and George Bush rotting away in a prison cell for the rest of their lives? Because the law is not being applied. These are war criminals, and they should be in prison for the rest of their lives, if not executed, if their own rules were adhered to for their own crimes. Not only that, but we need to really understand the truth here. First off, all of these players, these politicians, are nothing more than puppets. They don't serve the people. There is no real democracy. They really serve the rich and powerful who run the world, and that would be the bankers who control the money supply. The bankers, of course, make huge amounts of money. Whether they make bad investments or not, wars are great for them, and ultimately they control the politicians, and that is why we see these policies. Obama and Cameron are nothing more than puppets who read the script, and the script is we need another war. And the reason why we need another war, according to these psychopaths who are running the world, is because more and more people, despite the clueless masses who continue to be entranced by things so ridiculous as X Factor and American Idol, there is larger numbers of people around the world who are realizing the truth and beginning to recapture the capacity to think for themselves. And they can see that these people who are being put in positions of public trust are defying that trust and representing an agenda which they could never speak about openly. Thanks.
Do you have a tail feather? Yes, I have a tail feather. Then you shake it, my dear.
This is The Beat.
Wow. Come on.
Our love is the music.
The Beat. I love The Beat, I do, but this is Herschel 36 on The Beat, Wednesday nights with Sonia from Plush Global Media. Now, the track that's coming up is called Who Got All the Money? It's one of mine, people. And, it's about 9/11, really, and it's about who got all the money.
There are things we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know.
You don't know, they don't care. Not paid enough to spend your time out there. Go outside, have a party, get high. The world will end when the sun don't rise. You got, I got, we got nothing. Who got all the money? You got me, my love for you is free, but who got all
There are also unknowns, the ones we don't know.
Unknown to you, they stole your view. Don't show the dark side of the moon. Place an RFID chip in your forehead and your wrist. Gonna make you so sure. You got, I got, we got nothing. You got all the money.
There's no evidence of a direct link.
You got me, my love for you is free, but who got all the money?
Terrorist organization.
You got, I got, we got nothing. Who got all the money? I got you, got this is true, but who got all the money?
Is this an unknown unknown?
Fiscal year 1999, 2.3 trillion missing. Fiscal year 2000, 1.1 trillion missing.
$1 trillion.
Mr. Secretary, is it policy of the U.S. government to reward companies that traffic in women and little girls? Women and little girls.
You don't care that they all know nothing outside but a TV show. RFID chip in your forehead and your wrist.
Evidence of a direct between Baghdad and some of these terrorist organizations. Is this an unknown unknown? I'm a trader. $1 trillion. I go to bed every night. I dream another recession. It's an opportunity. $1 trillion. This economic crisis looks like a cancer. Goldman Sachs rules the world.
There are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
Excuse me, but is this an unknown unknown?
You must unlearn what you have learned.
You must unlearn what you have learned. I love that. That's straight from Star Wars. So, Sonia, I asked you to indicate 3 movies that you were, they were your favourite movies.
Yeah.
And one of them was
Star Wars.
Okay.
The trilogy, the entire trilogy.
Oh,
the original trilogy.
Well, is that our age?
Yeah.
Do you think? Because I spoke to my kids about that, and they don't like the second trilogy. So the first 3 were New Hope, 1977.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi in 1983.
84.
It was 84, was it?
Yeah.
And that was 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I can watch those films over and over and over. They're brilliant.
They are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
But I've got a friend who's slightly insane, and he thinks there is a galactic war going on out there.
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that.
Because you think the same.
Not right now, but I had listened to, oh man, I wish I remember his name. He did Chariot of the Gods. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Nope.
He's always on Ancient Aliens. It's an American show I watch.
Nope.
You know what? I recommend everybody watch that if they can find it on. They can find it on YouTube actually.
What's it called?
Ancient Aliens.
Ancient Aliens.
It's actually a really good show. But anyway, a theory was, and I kind of really got into it. In fact, so much so I started writing a book about it. About the Nephilim. Have you heard of the Nephilim?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So the intergalactic wars, I think they happened, but millions of years ago.
Oh, really? Well,
That's actually, I think, and I know it may sound crazy, but there was a time where I believed we actually migrated here from Mars.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Because isn't there a view that we've got a mission to Mars to repopulate Mars?
There's that. Yes, there's the repopulation
of
Mars.
To be honest with you,
yeah.
I don't believe anything that comes out of NASA.
No? NASA didn't come up with that, obviously, but no, I understand what you're saying. A lot of I've seen too much online, too many videos that can't be debunked. I've seen it all. To think that we're alone in the universe, I think is absolutely arrogant to even suggest something so ridiculous.
Well, there's so much unknown, but I know this. I know the next 3 films from Star Wars were an absolute slaughterhouse. We had Attack of the Clones, 99, Phantom Menace, 2002, and Revenge of the Sith.
It's absolutely embarrassing.
Well, that even my kids say, don't bother.
Yeah.
So, what's this next Star Wars called? Do you know?
The Force Awakens. So
that's right.
It was just saying a while ago that making a joke about no pressure at all, right? Because this is going to really, you're right, it's going to make or break the Star Wars industry again. Are they going to come back and do another? They really have to do 3, don't they?
Well, that's right. They've got one scheduled for 17 and one scheduled for 19. If we get there.
If we live, if we survive, yeah.
That's right. If the Russians and the Yanks don't nuke each other with the Chinese picking us off left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
But this film is due to be released when in the cinema this month?
It's the 18th actually.
Ooh, exciting.
I've got my tickets though already booked for the 21st, which is in VOSE. It's the original version.
Okay, is that the first time that there's an English version of that film on the coast?
I think so. Please don't quote me on that. Just look in Cinesur online. That's what I found.
My issue with this is when Hollywood overhypes a movie, then I'm always concerned. But you can't underhype Star Wars.
No, you really can't. That's the thing. It's nostalgic, right? So for us and our age group, we're acting like a bunch of kids right now.
That's great. I am a kid.
Exactly. I saw a meme today actually making fun of people that are, saying you're too old for Star Wars. It's like, whatever. You're too young for Star Wars is my response to that.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So it's the nostalgia, and I don't think I'm going to be disappointed.
How old are you?
I'm 41.
You're 41. You don't look a day over 33.
Oh, thank you.
I know. I say it to everyone. I'm terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm 43.
You don't look 43 either.
That's really kind of you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm. You know what? I'm planning of running the Marathon des Sables on February 2017. That's got nothing to do with Star Wars, but I will see a lot of stars when I run through the Sahara Desert for 5 days. 250 kilometers. Yeah, man.
Oh, wow, cool.
It's going to be great. But okay, so we are coming to the end of this little section, and guess what? One of Sonia's favorite films is Space Odyssey.
It's 2001: A Space Odyssey. By
That's
Stanley
right,
Kubrick.
which is great. But this is Space Odyssey by David Bowie. He's my hero. That's straight out the analog era. Absolutely fantastic from David Bowie. He never ages. That man never, ever ages. Unbelievable. We're going into a little break now with some adverts. It's necessary. But before we do that, check this out. Morpheus, he's got something to say.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth.
This is the sound of the beat.
Want more music? Getting you out of bed in a different way.
Open the high bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Dave, although you took very thorough precautions in the pod against my hearing you, I could see your lips move.
All right, Hal. I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
Without your space helmet, Dave, you're going to find that rather difficult.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore. Open the doors.
Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
Herschel 36 on the beat. Absolutely brilliant. I'm here on a Wednesday night with Sonia from Plush Global Media, and we are talking all things internet, site engine optimization, and things that go with that. But we're also talking music. We're talking about films. Personally, I think all the films and the music all interconnected, but you can call me a conspiracy theorist. What would you say?
Sure, why not?
Why not? Well, listen, you chose, that was a quote from which film?
It's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
And who was the director?
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick. And it was 1968, I do believe. And
Yes.
which film did he go on to direct, but died before it was released? Come
Eyes
on.
Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes,
You are the winner of absolutely nothing. Well done. Congratulations. And it, that was set in a mansion with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Yep.
And they were doing all sorts of jazzy sort of stuff. Let's not
Yeah.
go there.
Jazzy.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's some jazzy stuff going on this coast, that's for sure. It was set in a Rothschild mansion.
Yes.
So who are the Rothschilds?
Ooh, well, the Rothschilds, according to me, pretty much run the world, I think, anyway.
Well, they are. They're Zionist Jews, aren't they?
They're part of the 13 families, I believe.
That's right. You know, are you aware that behind the Western banking system is the Rothschilds and the leading families? Are you also aware that behind the Russians is the same Jewish Zionist banking family?
I heard that, yes. I've heard of that.
Well, that's right. I've heard it too. I don't know if it's true or not.
No, I had no
to be
idea.
honest with you.
I didn't really hear it. I heard it and I thought, okay, I've never heard that before. But so I know who the Rothschilds are. I definitely know who they are. I've got a nephew who I think I told you about personally.
Yeah.
He's very. I have to say about my nephew. When the plane from the Netherlands was shot down.
Yep.
He was here visiting me.
Yep.
And
when was that?
That was last July.
The plane from the Netherlands.
Shot down by going over Ukraine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Malaysia.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Malaysian
flight,
right.
but it was full of people from
Holland.
Holland.
That's right. That's correct.
2 days before, he called it. He said something's going to happen in the next few days. It's going to be a false flag. It's going to be this. It's going to happen over Russia. He said it had something to do with Russia, and it would be the Franz Ferdinand moment. That's what he likened it to. Franz Ferdinand moment. Started World War I.
Well, that's right.
No, World War II.
No, World War I.
World War I.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's the problem with having these conversations. You have to have your facts right.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you look like me.
Okay.
Bald-headed, 43, and going nowhere. Yeah.
So, but he called it. I was really impressed.
Well,
Very impressed.
you know, it's a funny old world. There's all sorts of bits and pieces going on. Do you think that the Hollywood machine is set up to pre-program the viewers of the movies? I call it predictive modeling.
You know what? I'm kind of torn with this one because, in a way, I think we need a center. Like we have the liberalism on one side, and of course the conservatism on another side. But we need a center, and I think there are some actors and some directors that sort of lean towards the center, and I think they can be called sort of heroic. But then, in a way, you're right. Yes, there's a lot of films out there that try to direct the way in which we should be heading.
Well, Clockwork
kind of
Orange, 1984.
Yes,
Are we
yes.
not living in a society that is very 1984?
Exactly. So I would call that more of a centric film, where they are really sort of basing it off of their own belief system, where they think the world is going. I absolutely believe that Clockwork Orange, 1984, was definitely predictive.
Listen, I was working with a lady down in Sotogrande yesterday called Nellie Cherylin. I've done an interview with her. She's a yogi. Yoga, meditation, and you know, being one with the universe.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I must say she's fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and getting a lot out of working with her. About changing the way that my mind establishes itself first thing in the morning, and how to project and develop, you know, good vibes and meet good people like you, and go into good projects and not self-destruct.
Exactly.
For many years, I had this self-destruct button.
Right.
And I don't want to do that anymore, you know, and I don't want to pass it on to my children.
Exactly.
You know, and so she believes that she can change DNA through yoga. Now, I think that's a big, big claim, but I'm going with it. She's really, really powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the mind is so huge, and we know so little about it.
It's true.
And subconsciously, I'm affected more than my conscious thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when we bring that back to day-to-day living, okay, and I'm thinking about setting up a new business, right? Yeah, I know that there are certain things I can do, and there's certain things that I can't do, and I've got to reach the right people to put a package together.
Exactly.
Now, you would help me do that, wouldn't you?
Yes, absolutely.
And you'd provide me, because you don't just do it, you also would teach someone like me how I would fulfill certain roles myself. Isn't that?
Absolutely. I'm a strong believer in small business. I think a small business is it's what fuels the economy. I love it over here. I'm going to tell you right now, okay? I love Spain because you can walk by a door, okay, a business door, and it says "Gone to wedding. We'll be back in a week."
I know, I love that.
Never in my life
I love that.
have I ever seen anything like that.
That's right.
Because in Canada, not even there's no way in hell they would ever do something like that.
That's right.
Money, money, money.
Exactly. I think they're less affected by the global community here than they are, say, in London, for sure.
Exactly.
Right?
No, they really are. It's my wife, Minerva. Is she was born in Spain.
Yeah.
It's something she grew up with. She would hang out. I'm sure, Dave, you've noticed the kids are with you at the damn bar until 2 a.m.
That's right.
In Canada, the UK, the Children's Aid, we call them the Children's Aid Society, would be called. And the kids would be taken away from that family that decided to take their kids out past midnight.
Exactly.
Okay?
It's insane.
It is insane. Being an Italian family, we were the same. We'd sit in garages until 2 or 3 in the morning, but if anybody saw that, we probably would have gotten into a lot of trouble.
Because here in Spain, we spend more time outside.
Yes.
Okay. We spend less time in front of the television. Okay.
Exactly.
I do go to the movies. I love going to the movies.
Me
right?
too. Absolutely.
I go to the movies more than I go to live music. I've got to start thinking about changing that, because I love live music.
Yeah.
And there's some great musicians, massive, fantastic musicians here on the coast.
Yeah.
But that box called the TV, it's there to program me.
Yeah.
Right.
Suck the life out of you.
Yes, and I've mentioned this before, but my son plays PlayStation. Okay,
Right.
he's got a game called Call of Duty, and the previous game he was fighting in Yemen. Okay, and now he's fighting in the United States of America.
Yes.
Because they're predicting that there's going to be a civil war in America.
I can see that. It's actually, I think a lot of people can see. That's not really a conspiracy theory. That's more of a fact.
Well, it's not a fact yet.
But you know what I mean? The fact is, it's coming. Okay, that's a fact.
Well, that's right.
Maybe in the next 10 years, we don't know.
No, we don't know.
But living next to them, it's been a long time coming. I'll tell you that right now. There's just something really wrong.
But there's some real changes going on in Canada as well, are there not?
Well, I mean, if you call having a heartthrob for a prime minister a big change, I guess it is a big change.
Oh, come on.
You know what I mean? Like, he's this total, dreamy dude, and his father was one of the best prime ministers, apparently, in Canada, so...
Yeah.
And he's the next, he's taking over.
You know, the problem with politics is that no matter whether you go left, centre or right, government still gets in, right?
Exactly.
Politics is Hollywood for ugly people, man.
And no, you're right. There is no left and right. That's another thing I wanted to say. There's really no left and right. You're voting for who you're voting for, and they're going to do what they want to do.
And I know you wanted to get back to that hot topic I brought up of the gay agenda, and that leads me to Barack Obama. Oh boy! But let's not go there. We're just gonna jump into something called "No Stopping the Beat," and then we're gonna be back in with a track from Duran Duran. No Ordinary World. I thought it was pretty apt for what we're talking about, people. Truth is stranger than fiction.
The Beat.
Officially the best sounding station on the Costa del Sol.
This is The Beat.
Arguably the best site engine optimization business on the coast. Is that correct? Or have I just made that up?
No, it's actually really correct. It's a fact. You talked about facts, right?
Well, that's right.
Yeah, I could back it up. We're the best.
There are facts and there are facts, but that's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Okay, so the third movie that we're going to be discussing, right, just to have a chat, is called The
Exorcist.
I've never seen it.
Get out of here.
No, I've never seen it.
You're a liar.
No, I've never.
Really?
I've never seen it. Why would I lie to you about something like that? Okay, I've seen it. No, I haven't seen it. So why did you pick that? Because it's really scary, man.
The Exorcist really affected me. That's why. Because I was raised Catholic, so that whole possession, demonic possession thing, rang true for me. And okay, you know when that movie came out, right? 1974. That's the year I was born.
I've got down here 1973.
Oh, sorry, 73. You're right.
And
73.
you know it was offered to Kubrick and he turned it down.
Yes, I did know that.
Interesting.
I'm glad it wasn't given to him. It would have been a completely different movie. I have to say, I was born a year after, obviously. I watched that, actually, in 1980, I think, which I was very young. I probably shouldn't have watched it, to be honest with you.
I think that explains everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm probably whacked out today. Still sleep with a nightlight, leave the closet door closed. But yeah, that movie really affected me because of the religious connotation behind it.
Well, I'm Catholic as well, or I was brought up. I'm not religious,
anymore.
man. You know, I'm spiritual, but not Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm not religious. You know.
Yeah.
They say that religion is for people who want to go to heaven.
Yes.
And no, religion is for people who don't want to go to hell.
Yeah.
And spirituality is for those who've already been there.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that, 100%.
It's a funny thing, this thing called life. It's really strange. But do you believe in the afterworld?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I have to. I have to grasp onto it. I'm sorry, but there has to be something better than this.
Well, this isn't bad, but you know, when we die, there's a huge amount of endorphins released, and I've got nothing more to say. But here comes a good quote from The Exorcist.
In the face of the enemy, let the enemy have no power over. And the son of iniquity be powerless to harm.
Well, there we have it. Yeah, that was a really bad link. I'm not the greatest DJ in the world, I've got to be honest, but I'm learning. I'm learning. That's
great.
That's what it's all about. Funny. So, yeah, religion, spirituality. So I was having this conversation yesterday, and when we die, the last moment, there's a massive hit of some endorphin or something.
Yeah, from the pineal gland.
That's right. The
Yeah.
pineal. Interesting. This. The
Very.
pineal, right. And then that release lets the soul or the spirit leave this spacesuit.
All your fear diminishes. Now, if there's not some sort of grand design behind that, do you know what I mean?
But it's crazy.
It is crazy. The pineal gland releases almost like a heroin effect. That's what I've read anyway. It releases almost like a heroin effect, euphoric. All your fear disappears.
Well, listen, here's a fact, right? Another fact. We've done a lot of facts this evening, but I take religiously something called iodine. Iodine is back in the day, the old school used to take it a lot, and it was part of general life. Now, iodine decalcifies the pineal gland.
Okay, yeah, I think I read something like that too. Where do you get it? Where do you get it here?
I get it from the United States of America.
Oh, you order it in from America?
I order it in, and what I should do is have a little store of it and sell it to listeners of this show.
You probably should
via the beat.
I can help you build the website.
Well, that's right.
And optimize it.
Well, that's right, and there will be people who are interested in that kind of living.
Absolutely.
And the other thing I've done is I have done ibogaine treatment. Now, we've talked about that before.
Yes.
And ibogaine is a reset, and I won't go in too deep into it because it's pretty left field, but it definitely had a complete chemical, and I had quite an experience on it.
Okay.
And it was quite short-lived, and it reset, and I had to restart. But it didn't only reset me emotionally and spiritually, but also the immune system, and I became very, very strong.
Okay.
The core energy of my body became very strong. But let's go back to the film.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what's the film about?
The Exorcist?
Uh-huh.
It's about a young girl named Regan. She's the daughter of a famous movie star, actually, who just happens to be filming in Washington, but they're actually from California. And she plays with a Ouija board by herself, and then suddenly becomes possessed. But the being, I guess you can call it, possessing her claims to be the devil himself. So it's pretty intense.
Do you believe in the devil?
No, absolutely not.
I do.
I used to, obviously, but I do not believe in demons or the devil. I believe those were fairy tales made up to scare little kids. I believe as a ghost hunter, I don't know if I've told you that.
No.
We did ghost hunting back in Canada.
Wow.
Okay. I
Cool.
believe there are beings that are very angry, very bitter, and can become what you would consider evil and a demon. I believe that, but I believe they're just humans that turn into something else.
Really?
Well, I've heard and seen things. I've got stuff on video and stuff on tapes that would make the back of your hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Well, listen, truth is stranger than fiction.
It's true.
There is no, Mark Twain, what a genius. I don't know where he came up with that from, but he is right.
Yeah.
There's so much. I mean, let's just talk about the spectrum of light and how much we can see as an animal, right? On this planet, we see a tiny percentage of light.
Yes.
And we are actually relatively blind in the big scheme of things. But there's all sorts of things going on, so it doesn't surprise me. Sometimes I feel as if A, I've met people before, and B, I instantly don't like some people.
That happens to me as well, and I can't explain it. And I actually feel bad about it, but
it's weird.
It's really weird. It's like you just don't like that person.
Yeah, and I don't know why, and they haven't done anything. It's just, it reminds me. Have you ever seen a cat when the cat arches its back?
Yes.
And the hair goes up.
The hair goes right up. Like you want to just get away from me.
So I was walking my dog on the beach, as I do, right, first thing in the morning, and little Rico, he's only a puppy, and he was jostling along, and he will go and say hello to absolutely everyone. He just loves people. He loves cats. He loves dogs. Everything.
Yep.
And he got to this cat. He went and said hello, and I said, "Rico, be careful." And the cat went, "Wow!"
Yeah.
And Rico went,
of course, yeah.
It's genius. He's actually in trouble with me right now because he did he went to toilet on my studio carpet again, and so he's in the doghouse. But I don't know. Can your SEO sort out Rico's toilet habits in my house?
Maybe. You can see. Some sort of miracle I can pull out of my hat.
Well, that's right. But there are lots of ideas out there, and the basis of a good idea, I need to find customers. I need to get to a place where I can find the person who's interested in what I'm offering.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you do mathematically, isn't it?
That's exactly what I do, yes.
Okay. So do you have algorithms?
No. Wish I did. But Google's algorithm is the secret sauce, the Colonel's secret recipe, whatever you want to call it. They're the ones that we don't know how they actually rank. And we know that keywords so basically there's 400 factors into ranking a website. We, as SEO consultants, only know, if we're lucky, maybe 5% of that. See, it just goes to show you, we don't know the rest of the rankings, you know what I mean? There's 400 factors they throw into this algorithm. And that's why I think this algorithm, as they expand it year after year, day after day even, they expand it, they work on it. I really think that artificial intelligence is what they're aiming for. And I really think it's only a matter of time before it actually happens.
Well, it's already here.
There you go. Yeah, it could be all. That's what I mean. It's just the way they've built it since the 90s. The way they just keep at it. It changes all the time, right? I get these alerts that come in that say it's changed again.
Yep.
And yeah, so artificial intelligence. I mean, now they're saying 2016 is not so much keyword based, and I'm thinking, how the hell are they even going to manage that? And the first thing that pops into my head is it's some sort of artificial intelligence.
Okay, so The Beat is the best radio station on the coast. But the question is it the best ranking radio station on the Costa del Sol? How would we check that out?
So you would literally put into the search engine, Google, best radio station Costa del Sol.
Okay.
And then hit search and see if The Beat comes up.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. Best radio station Costa del Sol into google.es search. Here we go. It's not The Beat. It's Spectrum comes up straight away. Yeah. Then Global.
Yeah.
But we don't have The Beat.
Not even on the first page, not even number 10?
No, The Beat comes in at number 5.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
But if they just did a little bit of a marketing campaign for about 3 or 4 months, guaranteed they could beat Spectrum.
So what would that marketing campaign look like?
We would focus more on that particular keyword and a few more to make sure we beat them. And that would go into content because according to Google, content is king.
Okay.
The more you write, the more content, the blogs you do on your site.
Okay.
The blogs you do off-site with that particular keyword phrase. That's what happens. That's the way it works.
Okay, well, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we have a blog, actually. So
you need a blog.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't see Beat Boy doing a blog first thing in the morning.
Well, you'd have, some... get an intern. That's what I would do. Get an intern in here.
Well, that's right.
You know what I mean? Get them to do a blog.
And we do it in English and Spanish. Because,
absolutely.
To be honest with you, this is the fastest growing radio station on the coast.
Yeah, I've loved The Beat since I've gotten here, more or less. So it's...
Everyone that I speak to is listening to The Beat.
Yep.
I mean, I can't believe it, but a lot of people really like Beat Boy.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning. I don't fathom it. But no, he's great. He's great. Him, Chris Carl, the rest of the DJs, they are fantastic.
Yep.
And it's a booming opportunity now for people to come on the radio show and talk about their story. If you want to do it, just give us a shout. Go on the Facebook page, give us a call, whatever. And also, if you're a business out there and you want to advertise, we are the people to advertise with. But right now, let's have a listen to George W. Bush, see what he's got to say.
I think tide turning, as I remember, I was raised in the desert, but tides kind of turn. It's easy to see a tide turn. Did I say those words?
Herschel 36 on The Beat, coming into our last section on a Wednesday night. I just want to thank justfinishitrecords.co.uk and The Beat for having me here. Now, Sonia begged me for this next track, You Got a Way of Thinking by Herschel 36. Who would have thought it?
The United Kingdom will continue to deliver on its long-term
My head is banging and I can't get back to sleep. Just like an addict who is desperately in need. Interfusion from the top down to my feet. The blood blood inside me starts to pump as I repeat, come on. You got a way of thinking. I got a way of thinking. We got a way of thinking, and you got it wrong.
Russia and Ukraine. Iran.
I try to knock one out, sometimes it helps me think. Cause I'm an addict who is blindly in belief. God could save me from my personal demise. I keep on driving when I can't see out my eyes, yeah. You got a way of thinking. I got a way of thinking. We got a way of thinking. So I wrote this song. Come on kids, sing along, yeah.
My lords and members of the House of Commons, the United Kingdom will continue to deliver on its long-term plan when taxpayers' money fail to pay their staff who lead sexual violence in conflict worldwide. Russia and Ukraine, Syria, Afghanistan, Iran, nuclear organized crime, modern slavery, seize the proceeds. My lords and members of the House of Commons,
bang the kick drum so it matches both my feet. I'm so needy I would even date the Queen. Have you ever noticed her eyes? They rarely move. She's a lizard wearing human leather shoes. You got a way of thinking. I got a way of thinking. We got a way of thinking, and you got it wrong. Come on, I got a way of thinking. I got a way of thinking. We got a way of thinking. Now sing my song.
my lords and members of the House of Commons, the United Kingdom will continue to deliver on its long-term plan when taxpayers' money fail to pay their staff who lead sexual violence in conflict worldwide. Russia and Ukraine, Syria, Afghanistan, Iran, nuclear organized crime, modern slavery, seize the proceeds. My lords and members of the House of Commons,
You got it wrong.
I like your way of thinking, Sonia, actually. I do. I think you're a great character.
Thank you.
And I think you're doing some great work out there. So we're coming to the end of our little shindig. Now, we had some ups and we had some downs, but we got through it.
Yeah, we did.
And you know what? It was fun.
Yeah, I had a good time.
And I've noticed working with you and in the environment that you have a lot of fun.
Yes, I do.
You're very comfortable with who you are.
Yes.
You're very comfortable with people, no matter who they are.
Yeah.
And you interact well with all various kinds of people.
Yeah. Well, there is lots of different people, lots of different businesses, of course. So you gotta blend in whether you like it or not, really.
Well, that's right. So, Costa del Sol, what are your favourite spots on the Costa del Sol? What do you do with your time when you're not behind a computer?
Oh boy. Well, I love tapa crawls and fingy actually. Fingerola, right here in Fingerola.
Fengy.
Fawingy.
Wangy.
Town. Yeah, whatever.
Funky
Fingerola.
town, yeah.
I love doing the tapa crawl every once in a while, or just dining out a lot of the times. Going to the movies. That's another big one when it's in original version, of course. Walks on the beach, of course, near the water, the Mediterranean, to remember how lucky I am for where I am living.
Very, very, very lucky.
Yes, so that's pretty much it, I think, yeah.
Have you walked along the boardwalk?
Right here, yeah, in Fingerola.
Well, you've got Fingerola, but down where I live, down in the rear.
The new one, the new Paseo.
The Paseo, yeah.
I haven't done it yet, but I think I really want to. I really want to try
We
it.
call it the boardwalk.
The boardwalk, right, yes.
And it's really beautiful. And you know, they're linking all these various boardwalks from Nurka all the way to Estepona.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes, great
idea. And I think
idea.
it's going to get more tourism in here for the walkers, definitely.
Well, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But you know, I was speaking to Glenn from the Oceano, and when it first opened, they were a little bit upset because the Spanish had told them that it was going to be lower. And when you walk past the Oceano, you know, it's quite exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can wave to people.
You can walk straight in. I walked in and ordered scrambled eggs with bacon with my daughter and her mate.
Well, at least you're bringing them business.
Well, that's what
Nothing
I thought.
to complain about.
yeah. But it's a funny old world. But
Yep.
there are so many things to do. Have you been up? Have you been climbing in the hills yet? Have you been on the new Camino del Rey?
No, I haven't, but that's in plan. That's my plan. And I also have been wanting very badly to do the Camino de Sant'Antino, or whatever, the St. John Walk.
Oh, I don't know that one. What's that?
That's the one where you can walk. You follow the path of St. James. It's a spiritual journey.
Okay.
You have to walk, and you can take off a couple of months to do it, or you can do it for a week, continue the year after for a week. The entire walk, I think, takes 3 to 4 months.
Is that up north?
Yes.
Okay.
And you walk literally to the border of France.
That's right. That's right.
That cathedral. You could go there. Anyway, if you
That
look
cathedral.
it up. That
oh
cathedral.
yeah, that cathedral.
You know, right?
Oh, that one. Thanks for that. That's really clear.
That's funny I said that. That cathedral. Sort of like that episode from Star Trek when they went down to that planet.
Yeah, that planet.
So
that Star Trek. That film.
But yeah, I want to do that eventually. Hopefully. God, I hope so.
Well, there's so many things to do.
There is,
and
yeah.
2016, I know geopolitically we're in a bit of a shaky period, but there's so much to look forward to. You know,
there is. I believe that.
That's right. For Christmas, I'm going to Dublin.
You're going to Dublin
with my kids, my family.
Lucky.
Okay. What about you?
Well, I'm staying here. Unfortunately, you can't go to Canada like too often. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
It's not like flying within Europe. We're staying here, and we're just getting together with a few of the friends, close friends, and my wife and my niece and her friend or whoever she brings over. And that's pretty much it. I love Christmas here. I break open the Coronas all day.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's all right
that's
for
the
some.
only day I drink Corona.
Listen, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What have you bought Beat Boy for Christmas?
A thong.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas thong.
He's got a great thong for radio, that's for sure.
Frillies on it.
So, wrapping this whole discussion up on SEO, your business, I mean, how can people get in contact with you?
You can either go to the website, which is www.plush-media.com, or you can email us at info@plush-media.com.
And have you got any events coming up? Because, I know I've been to a couple of your events, 3 of them. I really enjoyed them, and I'm rethinking about SEO. I want to get some knowledge before making a decision, because it's quite a big conversation. Have you got anything coming up that I can attend?
In January, I'm glad you asked, because we're actively looking for another venue.
Oh, really?
So if any hotel out there hears me and they want to contact us about offering their venue or tell us how much it costs to rent out a room, that would really help, because I need to tell people what to expect now in 2016.
Right.
When it comes to their SEO and to marketing and to blogging, everything.
So where would that venue be?
I prefer it this area, like Fingarola, Mijas, Costas, sort of even in between Marbella, Alveria, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That would be the best. I'm going to make my way up to Malaga in the new year at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you don't have the venue, but when do you intend to have the presentation?
I'd like to have it somewhere towards the end of January, but possibly within the first few weeks of February.
Because the last one I went to, it was packed, absolutely heaving.
Yeah.
So is it free? Do we have to register?
It's always free. My presentations are always free because
Okay.
we do a lot of shameless self-promotion, so
Of
it has
course.
to be free.
So if I was interested in finding out a little bit more, could I actually approach you and say, could we have a chat on Skype?
Yes, of course.
Is that something you do?
Well, we always do a free hour.
Okay.
We always do a free hour chat. You can come into the office or you can contact me on Skype. That's fine.
And your Skype is?
It's Sonia.Ingriselli, all lowercase. Sonia.Ingriselli.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm the Spanish one. Just look for the Spanish flag.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Well, Ingriselli, easy for you to say.
Yes,
I've tripped over it a few times this evening.
That's okay. That's understandable.
Along with some of the wires and Beat Boy's thong, which is underneath the table. He's already got one, by the way. And Chris Carl's Christmas presents. You know that the Beat are doing a 12 days to Christmas every day, blah blah blah. And
Yep.
Chris is giving away lots of presents or running up. Yeah, you should tune in. I reckon you may win something.
I think
I don't think I will. I never win anything. It's not fair. But it's been really, really fun. I've really enjoyed hanging out with you.
Yeah,
and
loved it.
It's been interesting, informative, and also creative.
Yes.
Because you are a very creative being, aren't you?
I hope so, yes. I strive to be. Yes.
And that's part of SEO, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. Creative is actually the key to really being successful.